Hello, and thank you for logging in this evening to the weight loss workshop. What I'd like to do is just share my screen with you so that you can see my slides, and I shall try and move myself out of the way so I don't have to look at my face the whole time. So thank you for logging in this evening. If you're not sure who I am, then just a little introduction. My name's Rebecca Green. I'm a registered children's nurse and an independent nurse prescriber as well. And I run my Botox and skin clinic down in Dorset called the Green Room. And I'm also an independent consultant with Arbonne International, which, if you're not sure what Arbonne is, it's just an extra little business that I run alongside what I'm already doing because it complements my business and my life so well. So I've been fully qualified as a nurse for the last 12 years, and I left A&E to set up my own aesthetics clinic in Bournemouth called the Green Room. I went back to university a couple of years ago and I had to do my nurse prescriber's degree so that I could prescribe medication in my clinic. And I was so fortunate enough to work with Dr. Xavier, who's a dermatologist, and he runs his own skin clinic in Southampton. So it was so lovely to go and work with him for the year. And I learned so much about skincare, and I learned so much about Arbonne as well. So he really opened my eyes to the products that I was already using in my clinic, which I thought were great for my skin and my client's skin. But actually, when I started to look at what was in the products, I was actually doing more damage to my client's skin than I realised. So having the Arbonne nutritional range and the skincare range in my clinic has really helped my skin and also all my friends and family, and most importantly, all my clients as well. So seeing great results with everybody. So my first business that I set up was a business called Gym Buggies, and I was a personal trainer at the same time as being a nurse. So I did that as a bit of extra cash, as you do when you're nursing, to earn a bit of extra pennies. And Gym Buggies was a workout group for mums and babies to get fit. And I also used to help them with their nutrition and losing weight and getting back into work and things like that. So I've taken lots of different courses, as you can probably see. Over my sort of 10 years of personal training, I've done lots on nutrition. I'm really, really passionate about nutrition. So anybody that comes to my clinic, if they're looking to have Botox, fillers, any kind of skin treatment, then I will always talk to them about their diet, their nutrition and their exercise, because that really is the fundamentals of our health. So if we haven't got glowing skin, then you can have all the Botox and the filler in the world that you like, but if you've not got good skin and you're not feeling good, you're not sleeping well, then that really does show in your skin. And a lot of my clients will come back again and again and say, nobody's noticed my Botox, because I like to do the natural look anyway, but everybody's noticing my skin, which is huge because everybody notices our faces and we're so conscious of the way that we look. So to be able to give people this new instilled confidence is just lovely. When I see clients coming back with their head up high, having suffered from spotty outbreaks or just lacking dull skin, then people that didn't really even know that they had skin problems before they started using Arbonne products and the nutrition, they now have such amazing skin that when they look back at how they used to look, they really, it really does show in their skin. So it doesn't have to be spotty skin. It can just be like dull, sort of lined skin as well. So what is Arbonne? You're probably thinking, what is she talking about? I've never heard about this company before. Well, Arbonne is a 35-year-old botanically based health and wellness. We're a network marketing company. So take out of your head what you think network marketing is. All it is social sharing. So all I do is share products with my clients and friends and family and friends of friends for free. People get to try samples totally free of charge for a couple of days. If they like the products, then they're able to purchase the products online at a reduced rate, and I make a little commission on that. That's how I'm doing a little extra business outside of my green room. So I'm fitting in little snippets of my time. It's super easy to do and really good fun. And we offer prestige skincare, nutrition, makeup. There is literally a product for every single part of your body that you can think of. And it's been in the UK for the last 6 years, and it started in the USA, spans right across the globe. It's huge. We've gone completely global to Canada, Australia, Poland, and we're soon to launch in Taiwan as of February. So that's really exciting. So we are spreading out all over the place. Now, this slide, when I was showing this at a presentation, this is what really got me. And I just thought, wow, these are truly amazing, high quality products. And if you're thinking, whereabouts does Arbonne sit in the price range bracket, or whereabouts does it sit in the industry? So you've got your products that you will buy from Boots, which are designed for a whole plethora of different skin types. So anybody can go to Boots. and you'll pick up pretty much the same product for greasy skin and dry skin. They've pretty much got the same ingredients in them, and those products are, we see them on television. We're sort of swayed with the whole, we've got retinol, we've got vitamin C, we've got all these lovely things in there. But what they don't tell you is what all the nasty chemicals they package in those products as well. So it's such a comfort to know that all the products are plant-based and they blend the best of science and nature. And you can pick up any one of our products and eat it, including the lipsticks. Not that I'd advise you do that, but you can eat anything because it's FDA approved, so it's food regulated, and you can smell all the flowers and the fruits within the products. So if you've got one of the mascaras or the lipstick, even smell it smells of roses, and the mascara smells of fruit. It's lovely. It's really, really lovely. And we blend the highest quality ingredients from around the globe. So they don't scrimp on anything. They really do source the best quality of everything. We're also pH correct, which is so important for skin, and hypoallergenic, okay? So we actually test on people with skin conditions like eczema, psoriasis, and they actually test them on people rather than on animals. And we're vegan certified, which if you follow a diet where you like to, purchase gluten-free bread, wheat-free, dairy-free, it's very hard to go into a supermarket and find an area where you've got all of those things ticked. So you very rarely see gluten, wheat, dairy and soya product with a tick on it. It's always one or the other. But the whole nutritional range, from the protein shakes to the bars, everything, the lipsticks, the mascara, the skincare, everything is vegan and kosher certified. So I love it that it's got that, and it's vegan certification is really hard to get in our industry, so to have that backing is huge. We're also clinically proven, which I love because I come from a medical background as well, being a nurse, so I love it that we've got all the medical background going on. We've never been tested on animals, which I love because I have a little house rabbit who's wandering around somewhere. I'm sure she'll jump up in a second and say hello. And the company's also built on Swiss heritage, so they're built to European standards. Now, when you come off this, training session now, go and have a little look online at the amount of chemicals that have been banned in Switzerland. It's shocking. It's well over 1,000 chemicals that they have banned in Switzerland. So they're not allowed to put these toxic chemicals into their skincare, hair care, makeup. Out of that, the UK has only banned 10. Which I find shocking. When I first used the Arbonne products, I started looking at all the ingredients. I'm a bit savvy with things like that. Well, I thought I was. And I went home and I was looking at all the ingredients that I had in my shampoos, conditioners, my moisturizers, my suntan creams, my fake tan was the worst. The amount of chemicals that are put into most products, I was horrified. So it's such a blessing, and it's so lovely to know that we've got nothing like that in the Arbonne product range. Now, you're probably thinking, where does it sit in the price bracket then? If it's got all these, beautiful products and it hasn't got this and that in it, you're probably sat there thinking, oh, but it's really expensive. But if you think about your products from Boots, which are like, your over-the-counter products. So products that are bought over-the-counter in Boots are not legally allowed to penetrate the epidermis, which is the top layer of your skin. So they're not really going to be doing anything. They're just going to be sitting on the skin, not really doing much. Then you've got your French products from like spas and clinics, things like that. And that's like your mid-range product. And then you've got your really high-end, really good quality products, which are really only for the rich and famous, that you find in places like Harrods and big department stores, which are really not affordable to people like you and me. They really are for sort of like the rich and famous, like little pots of cream like La Prairie, £700 for a pot of eye cream, which is just crazy money for that sort of product. But the products that we've got are really high standard, really good quality products, but at affordable pricing because we buy them online. So we don't do any advertising in the media, which is why you may not have heard of us yet. Someone hasn't told you about it yet. That's all it is. But what it is, we don't pay for any advertising, no online marketing, anything like that. So we've literally cut out the middle guys, and it's done all online. And then consultants like myself are paid a little commission on people that we refer to our website, which is fab. Such a good way of making some extra pennies. So back to the slides. I'm digressing a little bit. I always do that. So it's built on Swiss heritage. So you've got none of the nasty toxins, no nasty chemicals, and we're never tested on animals as well. Hurrah. Because I've got a little house rabbit. So the thought of all those animals being tested is just horrible. So the products are also formulated without any gluten, which It's great for your health conscious clients, and if you're health conscious like I am, then I try to follow a gluten-free diet as much as possible. And you'll know that if you're a bit gluten intolerant, because you'll get bloating and things like that. Now, our products are also formulated without any petroleum. Now, when you see this word on a bottle on the back of your skincare, it's often disguised as something called mineral oil. Now, when you see the word mineral oil, you might think, oh, it sounds really nice, it's botanical, it's from the sea, it's detoxing, which is what I thought. But mineral oil is basically the offcuts of petrol. So it's crude oil. And it's used as a bulking agent to go into 90% of your products that come off those shelves in Boots and places like that. They're legally allowed to do that. So it might have on the bottle that they contain retinols and they contain vitamin C and they contain all these lovely things. Like at the bottom of the ingredients list, that's where it will be. Above it are all the chemicals, and the top ingredient that you will probably find is alcohol. Now, the only thing that alcohol is good for, not on your skincare, is on a Saturday night having a glass of wine. Should not be in your skincare, okay? So alcohol, leave that to the weekend. Keep it out of your skin products. Now, we also don't have any animal byproducts, and it's never tested on animals. So I urge you to look at your lipsticks. So I won't mention certain companies on here, but a lot of companies use animal parts to bind the lipsticks. So they stay on your lips for a lot longer. If you haven't tried the Arbonne lipsticks yet, please do, because they stay on your lips all day, which is great. But if you put the wrong colour on before you're going out, you really got to get it scrubbed off, because they do stick on your lips for a long time, which I think is great. So it's quite a nice testimonial to know that they stay on the lips for a long time. We also have no formaldehyde donating preservatives, no chemical dyes and fragrances, no artificial sweeteners and colours, and no parabens. Now, parabens are used to keep your products on the shelves for up to 7 years. Now, we use parabens, but in the form of bilberries and blueberries. So it's a natural forming paraben, which allows the product to sit on our shelves. I've got one here, look, I've got my protein shake. So when opened, used within 12 months. So the products really, when you've bought your products, you're not going to have them hanging around for long anyway. They're always going to be used up within the year, which is great, which is what I want to know about Arbonne. They're not putting anything in there to make them last a long time. Now, if you think about back in the olden times, what am I saying? When I was younger, sorry, I'm not even that old, I'm 34. Back in my younger days, my mum used to buy bread in and milk, and they would last for like a couple of days at the most. We'd be literally like scraping the green bits off our toast when we were little. My mum will kill me now for saying that on there. And it didn't do us any harm though. But if you remember the bread, it would, go a bit green and a bit nasty after about 3 or 4 days. But now you can have a loaf of bread in your cupboard for well over a week. And same with your milk as well. It surprises me when I buy milk, and I don't use milk at all. But if I have family to stay, I think, I need to chuck that out because they only stayed at the weekend. I think, oh my God, I've got like another week left on that. And it really makes you think what they're putting in our products to make them last so much longer. And that's not just in skincare, that's in pharmaceuticals and, nutritional products as well. So 30 days to feeling fit with Arbonne Essentials and beyond, okay? Infinity, Arbonne and beyond. So the 30 days is basically your detox period, and that does not mean starving yourself. It does not mean taking 3 shakes a day and not having any food. Diets like that are ridiculous. We're not talking about counting calories. We're talking about actually eating more food and using good quality protein shakes as well as snacks, okay? So you're probably thinking, oh my God, if I eat more, I'm going to put on more weight. But I'm going to talk you through why that is not the case at all, okay? So do any of these on the screen tonight resonate with you? So are you feeling low in energy and fatigue? Do you have rapid mood swings, anxiety, poor sleep, brain fog, lack of focus, depressed, abdominal bloating, which is really common at the moment, excess weight, joint pain in your joints, you're feeling a bit stiff and a bit sore, any skin problems like acne, spotty skin, greasy skin, any high cholesterol and high blood pressure. Now you see the lady that's pinching her hip there, that's really common for women to carry weight around that mid area on the hips and on the tummy, more so than men. Men don't tend to carry the weight there so much, and I'll talk to you about that. I'll talk to you why in a second, about why we get that excessive weight gain. Now when we become healthy from the inside out, a side effect of us being healthy is weight loss, okay? So there's no rocket science in this. It's not hard to do. But what we must do is cleanse and detox our body to lose the toxic fat. And we must do this by removing allergenic foods and literally cleaning out the filter. So if you want to know what toxins are basically anything that can't be used as energy and it's got no nutritional value to you. So therefore what will happen is it gets stored as fat. Not good. So acidic foods in our diet really will lead to really nasty problems. I used to see this in nursing all the time. So diabetes, heart problems, bladder infections, IBS, bloating, what else? Weight gain, achy joints, depression, low energy all the time, and it will also speed up the aging process as well, which is not good. So what we want to do is remove the stress from the body. So these acidic foods bring your body into stress, and what you want to do is replace it and put your focus on removing the acidic foods and replacing them with alkaline based foods. Okay, so removing the gluten, removing the wheat, the dairy, the soya, the coffee, the alcohol and the corn, and replacing it with spinach, kale, peppers, things like that. Okay, so it's really simple. It's a lifestyle, and this plan is not a diet. I hate that word, diet. Get it out of your head. So diet to me is counting points and thinking all the time about the way you look, the way you feel, and your weight, which is so unhealthy. So if you're feeding yourself information all the time, I need to be on a diet, I need to watch what I'm eating, you're just constantly, you're stressing yourself out anyway, just from thinking about it. So this is not a rapid weight loss program either. When you see pictures on the internet of people who have got before and afters, and they're really overweight and then they've got six packs like 6 weeks later, they've either been photoshopped or they've done something really stupid. They haven't eaten clean and they've just literally done the whole like eat 3 shakes a day and lose weight, which is awful. It's the worst thing you can do to your body. So what happens when you have a massive rapid weight loss like that is you then go and pile more back on, and I'll explain why in a second. So this is not a once a year detox program. It's a lifestyle that is so easy to follow, it's easy to learn, and so easy to sustain. It's family friendly and it's designed for everybody, okay? Anyone can do this. So what it will do is remove toxins from your body, reset your metabolic thermostat, reduce those food cravings that we all get when we're unhealthy, renew your unhealthy skin, so give you that massive glow back in your skin that you can get through healthy living, and it will reveal the foods that really harm your health. So when you cut certain foods out and then start to introduce them, that's when you know the foods that are harming you. And it will help you to rediscover your health, your vitality, energy, your sex drive, your excitement, and your beauty. Look out, lads. The girls are coming to get you. So your body can literally heal itself. It's really clever how it does this. And I saw this when I was nursing. You'd get clients who were severely overweight coming in that would need to lose weight for operations. But they were coming in for operations about other things, but all their other medical problems were suddenly disappearing because they were starting to become really, really healthy. It's amazing how the body does this. So what we want to do is unlock your body's ability to literally heal itself from the inside out. And we need to do this by getting rid of the toxins. But unfortunately, we do ingest toxins in 3 separate ways, okay? So through our lungs, and that's the air that we're breathing, our mouth, so the food that we eat, and also onto our skin, the products we use. Now, some are avoidable, completely avoidable, but most are by choice, okay? It's about the choices that you make. So you've got to sit there like her with some fruit on your lap, and you'll be fine. So the 5 keys to health, and this is the first one, okay? So the first one is to eat clean. Go back to how we used to eat in our grandparents' era. So it's called organic to us, but normal eating to my granddad. So when I told my granddad I was doing all these nutritional courses, this was like 7-8 years ago, he was like, it's just normal eating, Rebecca. Like that's how I eat every day. I'm eating like fresh veggies and meats and, you know, full fat everything. It's like, actually, yeah, he's right. There's no such word as organic. It's just how we used to eat, how we should be eating. So first one is to eat clean. And that means eating a diet that is free from pesticide, hormone, and antibiotics. Okay, so get rid of all those out your diet. No saturated and trans fats, no gluten, dairy, soya, and it's genetically modified free. You don't want any of those foods in your diet. No refined sugars, no artificial get my words out, no artificial flavors and sweeteners. So eating clean really helps the body to release your toxins, okay? So anti-inflammatory kind of way of living is just to release the toxins, okay? And I'm going to talk to you how we do that. So we need to eliminate the 3 A's, okay? These are the bad boys, all right? So you've got acidic, allergenic, and addictive foods. So that includes refined sugar, dairy, gluten, soya, coffee, alcohol, which are all acidic and allergenic, and corn, which is acidic. Okay, you don't want these bad boys in your diet. Okay, so you've got to cut these out for 30 days. You can reintroduce them afterwards and see if that's your trigger. But I'll tell you what, I did it for 30 days and I now cannot drink coffee. I used to drink like 4 cups of coffee a day. I loved coffee, loved going for coffee with friends. Now I can't even drink it. It makes me feel sick. And I was in a bit of a coffee loop, which I'll talk to you about shortly as well. So about 80% of my ladies that come to my clinic with skin problems, when I take them off dairy, you see a massive increase in their renewed skin. Okay, so if it's just by forget all the treatments, forget the nutritional products, and forget the amazing skincare that we get them on. You take the dairy out of their diet and their skin literally comes to life again, okay? Obviously, it really helps speed things up and it helps to maintain it with good nutrition and products as well. But if there's anything that you're going to take from this call this evening, then take out dairy from your diet. It's a massive one because dairy is acidic and it's allergenic, and cutting out milk, replacing it with a healthy alternative will reduce your spotty outbreaks by about 80%. This is my trigger. So if I have ice cream or if I have dairy, anything with dairy in it, even if some crisps have got dairy in it, I will just boom, flare up the next day. It's my trigger. And I was on limacycline, which is an antibiotic for bad skin. And then I met Dr. Xavier, who introduced me to Arbonne. So I was running my own skin clinic and still had like spotty outbreaks or problems anymore. Simple. And I love teaching people about that. I love sharing this knowledge with people as well. So what's the deal with dairy? 80% of 11 to 30-year-olds are affected by acne. 92% of sufferers have felt depressed and suicidal, which is so sad. And 20% have suffered post-acne scarring, which I see it all the time at work. So they got rid of their spots and then they've got the scarring there, bless them, which I can also help them with as well now. But it's one of the biggest causes of skin conditions as well in the UK. And countries with the highest consumption of dairy have the highest percentage of breast cancer and osteoporosis. There's really something to be said about that in this country. So you're probably thinking, oh, but I love milk in my tea, or I love milk in my porridge, and what else can I drink instead? So you got to think outside the cow, okay? So here's just a few alternatives that I found online. You can order these from any local supermarket. Health food stores do them. You can actually order them online, which is cheaper because you can buy in bulk as well. Okay, my favourite is coconut. I love the coconut milk. It's amazing. But if you don't like coconuts, try one of the nutty ones. Or there's loads of others online that you can try. There's ones that have got like oat and almond together and all sorts of mixes going on. They're fabulous. So why is it linked to acne? Okay, I'm going to tell you why. Because growth hormones are being injected into cows, and they're also putting growth hormones into cow feeds. Now, if you don't believe me, you can read a book called Skinny Bitch. It's not as it sounds, a fantastic book. I read it when I was in Australia traveling. It tells you about what they're putting in our cow feeds and what they're putting into milk. Really quite an eye-opener. It's when I gave up milk, actually, when I gave up dairy. But the growth hormones, what they do is they fatten up the cow and they make it a lot heavier when it comes to sell for meat. This isn't every dairy farmer. This isn't every meat distributor. I'm not talking about everybody, but this is happening a lot in the UK. And it tends to come from our cheaply produced food, okay? So what they want to do is they want to make the meat heavy. They want to make it fatter. So when they come to sell it, they get more money for it. Now, as a result, whatever that cow is eating and having put into it, it's then coming through the food chain and we are drinking that in our milk. So I'm seeing a huge percentage of women my age and older and younger with spotty outbreaks all along their jaw. Often it's from the skincare products that they're using, but it's also from the food that they're eating as well. not good. Okay, so it's normally like cheap meat and dairy, things like that. So you cut that out their diet and you really see a massive difference. Especially in chicken farms, they're adding antibiotics into the feed because they're living in such cramped little condition. That's my impression of a chicken. I hope someone doesn't watch this back and laugh at me. Anyway, so they're living in these cramped little conditions and they're being fed antibiotics so that they can live for a lot longer in these horrible conditions. So really not nice that we're then eating those antibiotics and getting into our system. A lot of studies, and I met a doctor when I was working in A&E that was doing a study on children becoming immune to amoxicillin. They found that that's what they're putting into the cow feeds and into the chicken feeds. And you think of all the cheap chicken that's being sold in lower chain supermarkets. If you're thinking about where to get your meat from, best places to go are obviously your butcher. If you're absolutely pushed for time, like I am, like running 2 businesses, then I go to Lidl's and I go to Aldi and I buy in bulk because Aldi and Lidl's have the highest quality meat in the UK. So I would really urge you to go and buy a piece of chicken that's organic from Tesco's, get a piece of chicken from Lidl's and cook them. The organic one from Tesco's will shrivel and pour out loads of water, and the lovely bit of chicken from Lidl's is just meaty and lovely. So give it a go. Honestly, I did it with a friend who's a personal trainer. We bought the 2 bits of chicken each and it was quite shocking what we found. So we really need to remove the dairy out of our diet, especially if you're trying to lose weight and if you're trying to clear up your skin, okay? Because not only are the hormones that are present in the cow's milk a lot stronger than human hormones, they really help to mess up your hormonal balance in your body, okay? So not great to have those. So those spotty outbreaks on your jawline is probably going to be hormonal, okay, along with your skincare as well. Now this is a normal grass-fed cow that you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, and on the right-hand side is a growth hormone antibiotic corn-fed. Look at the size of him. He's not looking hot, is he? He's not all muscly and ripped. So I wouldn't eat him. I would always go for the grass one. So really source your meat really, really well. Look at where you're getting your products from. We talked about the cow feed. We touched on that just a second ago, but commercial feeds for cows contain all sorts of nasty ingredients, genetically modified corn. This isn't just cows, by the way. This is pigs and chickens as well. Genetically modified corn, soya, animal products, cottonseed, pesticides, antibiotics, and chicken manure they add to bulk it out. I mean, gross. So if I see some clients as well coming in with skin problems, one of the things I ask them is, do you find when you lay down at night time that you're all like nasally and mucousy? And I get like this as well if I've had dairy. When I lay down at night, my nose is blocked and I can't breathe. And dairy is mucus forming, so it can actually contribute to a lot of respiratory disorders. And when you remove dairy and sugar from diets of my clients, they really do stop experiencing breakouts, blocked up nose, hay fever will reduce, seasonal allergies, they'll tend to find that it really, really helps. A friend of mine had really bad hay fever, lots and lots of allergies, and she lost her sense of taste, cut out dairy from her diet, and it was like a life-changing experience for her. Honestly, it was really quite rewarding for her to do that. So I'd really urge you to do that if that's what's going on with you as well. So if you think back to the olden times, there really wasn't anyone in the pictures that we used to see with skin conditions. And I mean, I'm talking, look at this era here. They look like they've been airbrushed. And when I was Googling pictures for this presentation, I couldn't find anyone with skin conditions, spotty outbreaks down the jaw. In fact, I think this is before they even wore loads of makeup, and they didn't even look like they had makeup on. They looked like they'd been airbrushed. It was amazing. So in their lifetime, they had such better skin, and they were also a lot slimmer as well. So you never tended to see pictures of people with big spotty outbreaks and greasy skin in their photographs, which is something to be said about the way that they eat and also the products that they use. So imagine when we get to old age pensioner era, the amount of products that we're going to have. So old age when I was a nurse, I was doing extra agency shifts in nursing homes, and the old people were just like bit of soap, bit of talc, dry their hair, brush it, put them to bed. But now, can you imagine now? It'd be like cleanse, tone, moisturize serums, eye cream, and then in the morning, like your hair stuff, hair serums, straighteners, all that sort of stuff. We're going to be a lot more demanding, aren't we, when we get older? So all those products that we're now putting onto our skin, television's got a big part to play in this, where we think we need a product, we have to go out and buy it. So we're putting a lot more product onto our skin than we ever have before. It's becoming a lot more, and younger girls as well, they're wearing a lot more makeup than when I was younger. Actually, I didn't start wearing makeup until I was like in my late teens, early 20s, but they seem to be wearing it when they're like 11 and 12 these days. So something to think about as well. If you've got children, then make sure they're using really good quality skincare and products to stop them getting those skin conditions later on in their life. Now, I always look at the royal family and think they look so clean and healthy. Not clean as in like smelling clean, but their skin always looks so fresh and glowing. And, you know, that's probably because they don't cook their own food, admittedly. But there's never been anyone in the royal family you've ever seen with really bad skin or rosacea, acne, nothing like that. And no one in the royal family has ever passed away from cancer either. So I think there's something to be said about that. I think the quality of their food and their skincare is probably second to none. So I always think of that. Okay, so one of the 5 is to cut out your gluten and your soya. Soya is exactly the same thing, okay? So gluten is found in wheat, rye, and barley, okay? And gluten and soy are acidic proteins, and they're really difficult to digest, and they're also allergenic as well. So what happens is the immune system will attack the proteins, and they will cause inflammation. And these acidic proteins, because they're not alkaline, the body finds it very difficult for them to digest. So if you start off your day with a very sort of flat tummy, and then by the morning you've got toast and, you know, all sorts of other carby things going on, by the end of the day it's really likely that you've got a bit of a bloat going on with your stomach. If you get that bloating feeling, diarrhea, you're tired in the afternoon, you have mood swings, you start to feel depressed, they're all symptoms of being gluten intolerant, and it's highly likely that you are intolerant as well. So go for gluten-free products if you can. If you cannot cut, like when you're doing the 30-day detox, if you're, you know, you really still need, after the 30-day detox, if you're needing to bring back pasta and things like that into your life and bread, which I never eat anyway in my diet, I don't need it, then go for gluten-free pasta, or just cut it out completely because you really don't need it in your diet. It's not needed. And soya contains phytoestrogen, which actually mimic the effects of estrogen. So what happens is it produces more estrogen in your body, and as women we don't need any more hormones than we've already got. I'm sure we can all agree with that. But you'll start to see spotty outbreaks along the jawline, which is always hormonal, which can be a sign of too much soya in the diet as well. And having 1 to 2 glasses of soya milk foods as well, so stay away from all of those. Now, balancing your blood sugar, okay? So insulin is secreted in response to you eating, okay? So I want you to think my arm here is your blood sugar in the morning. Now, what happens when you spike your blood sugar is it does this. Goes up really, really high, you spike and you're stuffed. And then about 10:30, 11 o'clock, boom, it's dropped really, really low. And you're in this sort of starvation mode. You're feeling really, really hungry again. Now, what happens is insulin signals the body to bring the blood sugar down and hold on to all of your fat. So when you're spiking and you're dropping and you're in these 2 zones, you are storing fat in your body. So this also happens when you don't eat all day, and the first thing that you eat goes, your blood sugar will spike really, really quickly. So you're really, really stuffed, okay? So you haven't eaten all day, you get really stuffed really quickly. But then you're really hungry again a couple of hours later. A lot of women do this. They'll not eat all day, and then they will just binge out on the evening because they're still really, really hungry. They're playing catch up. It's really, really bad for you to do that. What also happens is when you're storing your fat, it just holds it it's really toxic in the body, and it will stick around to your arteries. It's really not good to do, okay? So scientists have established that anything that causes a rise in our blood sugar results in inflammation. This is fact, okay? Skipping on. So this is your blood sugar, and what happens is after you've eaten your meal, the processed white carbs will release your blood sugar very, very quickly, will rise it very quickly, and then what happens is your pancreas releases all the insulin, but in an attempt to keep your blood sugar in the proper range, the pancreas will release the insulin again, okay? Then insulin removes the sugar, and insulin removes the sugar all from your blood, and it moves it all into the cells, goes into your muscles and your fat, and it stores and it stays there, it won't move. Your blood sugar then crashes at 100 miles an hour, and then insulin removes too much of the glucose, okay? So you're in this sort of spiking and dropping zone, and you're storing fat when you're in these zones. So the idea is that you eat regularly and you never get starving before a meal. So I'll have breakfast and I'll always have eggs. By the time I've got to my snack, I'm not starving. I want to eat it, but I'm not absolutely hankering for food, which you shouldn't be in those zones. That's quite dangerous. Now, traditional clubs like weight loss and traditional weight loss clubs like Weight Watchers and Slimming World, they don't work, okay? So it's unrealistic for you to live a life where you're going to be counting your calories every single day and thinking about what you're eating to like obsessive degree. But they also allow you to eat really bad foods such as sugar-free and diet products, which I call Dr. Evil, Diet Evil. So they're actually worse than having full fat products. So anything with sugar-free, low fat, low calorie, the word low or free, avoid it like the plague because it's so bad for you. It's loaded full of chemicals and loaded full of unnatural sweeteners and all yucky stuff that's made to try and taste nice for you to eat and make you kind of addicted to it as well and go back to it. Now, these weight loss clubs, if they were to sit down and actually educate people on what they should be eating and what they should be taking out of their diet, not saying they can have like 3 cans of Diet Coke a day and then rack up the rest of the points with a dinner on the end of the day, it's just unrealistic. Now, what happens when you do like a crash diet like that, and this goes for people using shakes like 3 times a day, no food, and doing diets like this on the point system as well, Cambridge, all of those, hideous. Just avoid those products and avoid those companies like the plague, okay? Because they are going to make you bigger every time you do a diet like that. And this is why. So this is your fat cell here. I think you can see my hand on the screen in the corner there. So this is your fat cell. And then what happens when you crash diet, it shrinks really, really low like this. It goes a lot smaller. Now, obviously, when people do those crash diets, they go back to eating how they used to eat before because they've lost all the weight, and it gives them a bit of a false thing up here. They think, I've lost all that weight. I can now go back to eating how I used to eat before because I'm now slim. And your body remembers. It remembers the size of your fat cell. So what happens is this, boom, it stores more. So every time you crash diet and shrink, it stores more and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And your dress size goes up every single time you crash diet. So companies like Weight Watchers should really be on their ass. They shouldn't actually work because if they did work, people wouldn't be going back. And people associate that feeling of, oh, I lost weight when I did Weight Watchers. I'm gonna go back. I know I'm slating Weight Watchers. There's loads of other companies out there as well. When you lose all that weight and you feel really good, you associate that with the club that you went to and the things that they taught you. So they go back again and again and again because they think they can lose weight. But actually, it's really bad for their bodies, okay? So if you're in any of these clubs, then leave now. Follow the Arbonne plan. And the foods that we crave are the foods that are killing us, okay? And I'm sorry to say it, biscuits, all the lovely things that we all enjoy and love so much. The foods that we crave are normally the ones that are not so good for us, okay? So normally the ones that we're a little bit intolerant to and we don't actually need in our diet. Now you're probably thinking, I can't cut anything out, but trust me, I've done it. I've done the 30-day detox, and afterwards you have such a high level of energy. Your skin is glowing. You honestly, in 30 days of your life is nothing, okay? So get out of your head that it's going to be really, really hard and start telling yourself that actually it's really easy to do and you want to feel better. You want to lose weight. You want more sleep. You want more clarity. You don't want to feel depressed anymore. Start thinking about all the things that you do want and associate your 30-day plan with that as an end result at the end. Now, it's so important to always eat 3 meals every single day, plus your snacks. So women, especially women, think that it's okay to skip their meals and then eat something at the end of the day and everything's going to be all right. They're going to lose loads of weight. Oh, I've got a holiday coming up. I'm going to take a couple of shakes and I'm not going to eat all day. But actually, by doing that, you'll put on weight because your body's in that starvation mode. So when your body's in stress, what it also does is releases a stress hormone called cortisol, which is around here by your kidneys. So when it releases this cortisol, it stores as fat all around your middle, okay? So which is why you see it quite a lot in women when they're really stressed out and they're not eating properly, they're just drinking coffees and Diet Cokes for lunch, and you tend to get a lot of weight around the middle, and that's obviously their diet and lack of exercise as well, but that's one of the reasons why we store fat there as well, because we're releasing that stress hormone. So never ever skip a meal. So the next time you think, oh, I'll just wait till later to eat, you're in your fat storing zones, okay? So just think, oh, if I don't eat, I'm fat storing. That's what I always think, okay? And we're all guilty of it. We're all on the run sometimes when we're busy with work, but always make sure you've got a backup plan. I've always got my shakes at work. So if I will always eat, by the way, before I have a shake. So I use my shakes twice a day, but I eat about 6 times a day as well. But if for whatever reason I am manic between clients, I will take one of these bad boys. So you've always got something prepared. So never skip a meal, ever. The best way to start your day is either porridge or myself. I love to eat eggs every single day. And I eat 3 eggs in the morning with avocado, spinach. I have mushrooms at the weekend when I've got time to cook them. Really, really quick and easy breakfast to make. I eat avocados quite a lot because they're really good nutritious fats. And you can have really good fats in your diet as well. I use coconut oil to cook my meals with. So it's a really good nutritious fat as well. So it's good to have coconut oil in your life. And don't be scared about eating breakfast because you think you're going to put on weight. In fact, quite the opposite. You should be waking up hungry because the last meal that you eat should be anywhere between, it depends what your work life is like, but I always try and eat before 8 o'clock at night so that your body's got all that time to rest and you're ready to go again the next day. And eating breakfast, we all know this, but breakfast is the best way to start your day. But if you're an absolute nightmare kind of person, I have a lot of clients like this, they literally can't get up and put food in their mouth, then use the protein shakes for that. And I'll tell you why. They are really nutritious and there's nothing nasty in them either. But obviously always take food before you would take a shake. So I will have my shake after I've been to my boot camp or I've done my boxing class or I've taught my spinning class in the morning. I'll take a protein shake after, then I'll eat my breakfast when I get home, and I'll have another shake throughout the day, as well as my snacks and lunch and my dinner as well. They're also great, those shakes, to have in the evenings when it's time of the month, ladies, or the protein bars. The chocolate ones are really good. You can use those in the evening times when you're sort of, having a bit of a slump and you're really, really hungry. So they're good to use for that as well. So this obviously isn't a picture of my omelette on the page. I had to find this from Google Images because if I took a picture of my omelette, you probably wouldn't want to eat an omelette ever again. It looks like it's been like massacred in the pan. I'm literally like 100 miles an hour in the morning, rushing to get out the door because I do my fitness classes and then go to my clinic. And I always have a herbal tea with the energy fizz stick inside it because it's got green tea and pomegranate in there. I'll go to more detail about this later. I always have some sort of smoothie as well. So if I'm not having a green juice, then I'll have my protein shake. I use the vanilla ones with berries in. You can mix it up and add all sorts of different things in there as well. So when we start to remove the toxins from our body, that's in the form of food and skincare, we actually start to just lose fat. And that is really a side effect of removing toxins from your body. And the body forms fat cells around your toxins to protect your vital organs. So the more toxins that are in your diet, the more difficult it is to lose weight, which is why you often get that bit of a plateau. Even if you're really, really healthy and you're doing it sensibly, sometimes you get the plateau. But you might just need to remove a few things from your diet so that you can, get to your goal weight, because that's why you can sometimes plateau as well and you get a bit stuck. So removing the toxins, and then you lose the weight, okay? So it's just simple as that. And a toxin, as I said, is anything that your body can't absorb and use as energy and can't use as fuel. So it's just not needed, okay? So you want to look at your body fat as well. That's another thing I want to say as well. Don't be weighing yourselves on scales. It's a really inaccurate way. Avoid the BMI as well, because BMI is based on like a whole, your age group for the whole of the UK. We're all different shapes and sizes, so BMI is really inaccurate. So just go by, get a fat monitor. They're so cheap to buy online. Measure yourself, and you'll know. I don't think I've ever gotten the scales for the last time I got on the scales, I don't even know. I was probably like in my teens. But scales are really inaccurate and they're really depressing as well. So if you're jumping on your scales every single day to see what your weight is, then stop doing that. You're putting yourself through torture every single day. Go by how you feel, how your energy is, and start to just think about yourself as a slimmer person if you're trying to do this to lose weight. Okay, so think about yourself and tell yourself every day that you are losing weight, or that you're, even better, that you are slim, because you'll start to then believe it. And trust me, when you start telling yourself positive affirmations like that, the weight will just fall off anyway. It's quite powerful. So why would you believe me over any other weight loss or wellness company that you've heard of before? Well, Arbonne is partnered with 7 medical doctors. Okay, there's a PDF flyer on our website, which is fantastic. We have a medical board which makes up loads of different scientists. We've got dermatologists, doctors, all sorts on there, which I am so loving, because I'm from a medical background as well. I love knowing that we've got all the medical research and backing with this company. And the medical community out there really recognises what Arbonne is doing as a true health and wellness company, because they're so eager to provide their insight, and it partners up to sort of educate everybody. And that's what I love about this company, is that we're all about sharing and giving to other people. The FDA really does regulate very little these days, and allowing companies to put harmful ingredients in their products to get results no matter what, at a cost to your health, is just disgusting. So that's something that Arbonne will not do, and they will never ever do. And there's loads of health and wellness companies out there, loads of people selling shakes at the moment. And I would strongly advise you have a look at their ingredients. So if anyone from a network marketing company approaches you about weight loss or shakes, I'm not going to mention their names of other companies, have a look at what they're putting into their shakes, and what the level of sugars they're putting into them, how much soya, the fact they're using dairy, and the fact that they're using whey within their shakes. Things that you do not need in your diet. Okay, they're going to make you put on weight. And it's a fact that Arbonne's actually backed by the Mayo Clinic. I love this. The Mayo Clinic is the biggest research clinic in the world. That's huge that we have their backing. That's for all our nutritional ranges and our Phytosport range recently as well, which is really exciting. So why Arbonne, and how can we and how can I help you in your new life? Okay, so Arbonne is fit, and the daily essentials are free from dairy, gluten and soya, same thing, GMO, refined sugars, free from artificial colours and flavours, no animal byproducts and sweeteners, no saturated fats, trans fats, lactose and cholesterol. So it's a fact that all of those things on there are ticked because we are vegan certified, and we are also now kosher certified, which is quite cool. We've even got it on the back of our protein shake pack. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you now about replacing dairy, gluten and soya. So as I said, the protein shakes can be used after you've trained, but you can also use them as your breakfast if you're crap at taking breakfast. But always take food first, and use one throughout the day as well. Have one as your snack, or one in the evening if you're a bit of a snacker and you like to sit in front of the TV and, you know, someone sat next to you eating a partner, you can have your shake and you won't feel hungry. It'll fill you up nicely. The reason it fills you up so well and you don't feel so crappy afterwards is there's 20 grams of vegan protein, which means it's really highly absorbable. The most highly absorbable protein there is on the market, because you've got pea, rice and cranberry protein, okay? A massive plethora of ingredients there that really help to go through the body nice and easily, which it makes you feel a lot fuller for longer as well, because you've got all your essential vitamins and minerals in that package as well. It's also complete with a complete amino acid profile, which is really unusual in protein shakes. We also have no cholesterol, no lactose, and we're trans fat free. No artificial sweeteners, flavours or colours, which I mentioned. And it helps to build and to maintain lean muscle. Now, I've got friends who are bodybuilders, and I've also got friends who are personal trainers. They use the shakes in very different ways, but because they're so clean, bodybuilders obviously have a higher percentage of grams within their shake, so they're using them to bulk up and build muscle. But please don't think, if you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh, I'm a woman, I can't take protein shakes, I'm going to bulk up. You absolutely won't, okay? So you'd have to take steroids and you'd have to take other supplements to get bulk within your muscle, okay, as a woman. So everybody needs protein within their diet, because not only does it help with our lean muscle, if you're training and you're exercising, it helps to repair and rebuild the muscles. So when we go and do an exercise class, for example, your muscles will all do this. We do a little bit of stretching and they go to this, and they're all a bit sort of fibrous like this. What we need to do is add the protein into it, which helps the muscle to bind and repair itself. It's a very clever thing that it does. Now, we've also got an Injecte complex to promote energy and detoxification, okay, of the body. So we've got natural ingredients like ginseng, alfalfa, kelp, coenzyme Q10 and flaxseed. So really good flaxseed oils in there, which is fabulous to know. So give peas a chance. If you're in the frame of mind and thinking, oh, I need a protein shake that's got whey in it, get that out of your head. You absolutely don't need whey. So why is there no whey in the diet? No way. Did you see what I did there? The no whey. So traditional protein shakes contain whey, which is also called milk serum. So basically, it's the offcuts and all the byproducts and the waste of cheese. That's all it is. Yucky dairy, so all the crappy bits, don't need it. So you really don't need to have it in your diet at all. And it can also, when you have shakes with whey, and you'll taste a tacky taste in the back of your throat. It can make you feel a bit sicky as well, and it's a bit sort of powdery. You can almost taste it within the shakes. It's really not nice at all. The protein shakes that Arbonne have are really smooth, and they don't have any bits in them. It's really, really nice. You can do it with a shaker, or you can use a NutriBullet or whatever blender that you've got. And you can also add things like, you can add water, which I do because it's thick enough for me with water, but if you want to thicken it up a bit, you can add almond and coconut milk, a scoop of the Fibre Boost, which I'll talk to you about in a second. Low GI fruits are great. I do this in the morning, so add my berries. You can add sour apples, non-starchy vegetables like kale, spinach, greens. You really don't taste them. And it's said that we should be eating between 10 to 12 fruit and vegetables every single day now, because we're not getting enough nutrients from the fruit and veg that we're eating because of the way that they're imported and sprayed and things in supermarkets to keep them there longer. We should be eating a lot more to get more nutritional value out of them. If you can't, then do look at the greens balance. I use this in my shake in the morning. It's a scoop of greens balance. It's got over, I think it's 28 different fruits and veggies all ground up. There's nothing nasty in there. So you add a little scoop of there, so you're getting a bit more of your greens. And you can add also some chia seeds, avocado, flaxseed oil, almond butter is great because it gives it like a nutty taste. There's some lovely shakes coming up on the website at the moment. It's the Christmas range, which contains almond butter. So you've got some nice Christmas ones, which are lovely. Now you can make the shakes with strawberries, avocados, kiwis, apples, oranges. You can put all sorts into your shakes. Now again, these aren't my pictures. If you saw my sideboard after I've made a protein shake, it was like powder everywhere and fruit everywhere. It doesn't look as nice as these pictures, so I thought I'd Google image some nice ones for you to have a look at. So the daily fibre boost, I touched on this just a second ago. Now the benefits of this is it's a really high source of fibre, and dietary fibre helps to maintain a really healthy GI tract and normal bowel function. So fibre also helps to maintain your healthy digestion, okay? And it will help you feel a little bit fuller for longer. We don't get enough fibre in our diet. I don't eat enough fibre in my diet, hence why I add this. Always get lots of your nutrients from food first, but we all need a bit of a boost. So it's a dietary supplement, okay? It doesn't replace your food that you're having. It's always a supplement. So it's quite good actually. It's got it written on all of the products. It's got supplement written on everything. So you're not replacing your food, you're supplementing it. Always remember that. So this is a picture. This is what my shakes look like. So that's a vanilla protein shake, now kosher certified, as you can see on the packet there. So I've got vanilla protein, strawberries, raspberries, I'm just trying to remember what I put in there, blueberries, spinach, there's all sorts in there, and I've got my fibre boost on top. You can also add, if you're having it after training, the Phytosport post workout, which I do after I've been to the gym. So the post workout powder is to stop you getting sore after you've trained, which is a fabulous range as well. I really strongly suggest you look at that. You can add that to your shake every single time. It's fabulous. Okay, another thing to cut out of your diet. You're probably thinking, no, I can't get rid of my tea and coffee. So replace your tea and coffees and soda without actually killing someone. So when I did the 30-day detox, I was approximately on 4 coffees a day. And I thought, how am I ever going to do this detox? Me and my mum did it together. I was thinking, how am I going to do this detox and cut out coffee? I'm never going to be able to do this. Wow. Thank the Lord that Arbonne had invented these little bad boys. So Arbonne Energy Fizz Sticks, they come like this. They come in a box of 30 sticks. So they are obviously gluten, wheat, dairy, soya free, nothing nasty, they're vegan. But they contain pomegranate and green tea. So you can hear it rattling around in there. This little sachet, you can rip it off and you can put it straight under your tongue. So it's a bit of a popping candy effect if you need an instant hit. I love personally to have it in my tea in the morning. So could you give up the cup of coffee and could you replace it with tea and the energy pomegranate sticks? Because I urge you to try one of these samples. Please write to me, please email me. I will send you one of these in the post to try. I absolutely adore them. I love sharing them with people. The lovely thing about these is they provide a really calm energy. So like with coffee, you can get that sort of on edge kind of effect when you've taken a coffee, and sometimes it can make you feel a bit sicky, but they're alkaline forming and it's all natural ingredients in there as well. So you've got your green tea, your ginseng and your B vitamins, okay? Refined sugars and artificial sweeteners are not in this product at all. There's no fructose or corn syrup. It's only 10 calories and they're carb free, but it just provides a really nice calm energy, and it's great for concentration as well. So if you're studying, if you're on a night shift and you need to be alert but not sort of like on edge, then they're a fantastic supplement for your coffee. I've got a lot of nurses and people who work for British Airways and who work as flight attendants who use these. They absolutely love them, and they help to reduce your sugar and carb cravings as well. So if you've got a bit of a sweet tooth and you've got a bit of a dip in the afternoon, you'll only get this probably the first week or so that you do your detox. After that, your cravings start to disappear, but when if you're needing it, then you can take one of these in the afternoon as well, and they help to balance your blood sugar, so you won't get the spikes like you would with coffee or tea because of the high levels of caffeine. This is more of a natural caffeine, so it really helps to improve your mood, boosts your energy, and really enhances your alertness as well. So if I'm having a bit of I don't very rarely use more than one of these a day. You can have up to 2 to 3 of these a day, but if I have one in the morning, that's it. I'm awake, and it's, you know, it really does set me up for the day. One of these, I absolutely adore them. So the herbal detox teas, these are fantastic on their own. So you can use these in the evening, and they're lovely because they contain milk thistle and licorice, which really help to support your liver. So they are the master fat burning and detoxing products that you need. And milk thistle, if you do have a hangover, is fantastic when you've had a few drinks the night before. So take a milk thistle tea before you go to bed. They're really great to support the liver, and you just feel a lot better after you have one of those on a hangover, I promise you. And it's, you know, really supports the production of glutamine, which is the master of the detoxifier in your body. You really do need this in your system. And did you know that obesity is more closely related to liver dysfunction than any other abnormality? It's quite interesting, isn't it? So do you find yourself in the caffeine casualty loop? So do you need coffee to wake up, and then you can't wake up because, you know, you're so groggy and you're tired? You got too much coffee in your system, so you can't sleep, and then not enough sleep, so you just can't wake up again in the morning, and you're kind of in this caffeine casualty loop. So not really very nice, because you're feeling a bit groggy all the time, and you're using your coffee to sort of make yourself feel better. And it's a bit of a false sense of, you know, I'm feeling awake rather than proper alertness. So every morning, this is what I have: my energy tea is what I call it, my energy fizz sticks, pomegranate, B vitamins, and my herbal detox tea in there as well. And you can just, if I go out for coffee with friends, I'll just take one of these with me and I'll add it to any herbal tea that I'm out and about, mostly fruity ones because they taste really good. So this was a little chart that I had made up. This is the energy fizz tab. So you can see the cost of an energy fizz stick is £1.14. Compared with things like Red Bull, Monster. Look at all the other ones. I mean, it's shocking how many calories, how many sugars, and how many carbohydrates and unnatural sugars that they've got in them. Now, we use stevia, which is from a natural plant, so nothing nasty, but much, much cheaper. And even if it wasn't cheaper, I'd still use it because it's such a good quality product. But it just goes to show you, when people are thinking that it maybe costs a little bit more, then it really doesn't when you look at a chart like that. Okay, so snacks. Now, snacks can come in the form of nuts and seeds. Obviously, we all know about snacks. I use Nairn's oat cakes with almond butter on top as my snack sometimes. That's a good one. When I'm at work, when I'm on the go, or in the evening if I'm hungry and peckish, around about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, say, when I'm between clients and I need something quick, I will use one of these beautiful bars, okay? Now, these contain 10 grams of vegan protein, so they help you feel really quite full when you have your snack, a really good source of fibre, and it helps to support your muscles and your energy. So it contains antioxidants A, C, and E, and supports your general health and well-being as well. So great, because they fit anywhere. So you can fit in your handbag, your man bag, and your sports bag. Don't want to be, you know, discriminating against anyone here. And they're also vegan kosher certified with 15 essential vitamins and minerals, so they're really packed with your fibre. They're great after the gym, late night munchies, and they can really help stop your chocolate cravings. I have a client who was absolutely properly addicted to chocolate. She was on like 4 or 5 chocolate bars a day, and since she did the 30-day detox, she was on about 3 of these a day to start with, but now she's just using 1 a day because it's actually killed her chocolate cravings. And when she went back and ate chocolate after her 30-day detox, she felt really, really sick. So it's amazing how these can be used as a replacement in your diet as well. So they're really quick, easy snack, and the main ingredient is quinoa. So you've got your 9 grams of protein that really help to sort of boost up that energy. They're really, really good. Okay, the next product I'd like to talk to you about is Digestion Plus. So if any of you suffer from irritable bowel syndrome, if you get bloated, spotty skin, you get quite gassy, then this can be a sign that you've got a bit of intolerance to some sort of foods. And when you're on the detox and beyond, I use these every single day. A couple of my friends who are personal trainers, they take them at night. I take them in the morning, but you can also take them before you have a big meal. So if you're going out on your cheat weekend, which I follow a diet that is 80-20, so 80% of the time I'm eating really healthy, 20% of the time, as you will see on my Facebook, I'm a massive foodie, love going out for food and eating what I like. That's what life's all about. Then you can use one of these Digestion Plus. I take one before I've gone out for a big meal, so it just really helps the food digest. Now, we need prebiotics and we need probiotics to work in the system effectively. Now, prebiotics are a soluble fibre that help create an ideal environment for probiotics. So you need that environment for them to actually work, to actually colonize. And the prebiotics really help to support your healthy gut bacteria. You really need those. The probiotics, it's called Bacillus coagulans. So it's a bit less sensitive to sort of normal environmental factors like heat and humidity. But the probiotics really help to support the balance of your GI tract. You really need that. And the probiotics are mostly responsible for a number of important functions within your GI tract, but most importantly, it's the production of vitamin K that they really help with. So you often see on television these little Yakult drinks and, you know, that we need probiotics, but the probiotics can't work without the prebiotics, okay? So you need the both together. And the great thing about the Arbonne Digestion Plus is that you have enzymes in there, which are proteins that help to break down and eat away all the macronutrients, so they can be used in the body efficiently. And the enzymes in the Digestion Plus really help to support that breakdown of your carbohydrates, your fats, your protein, your fibre, and also your lactose as well. So they're fantastic to take. So if you've got any of those, even if you don't have your skin, any of those problems that you can see on the little area just on the left there in the glass, then they're great to take before a big meal and things anyway. So I highly advise them. So 80% of your immune system is in your stomach and your intestines. So all skin conditions will start in the stomach and intestines. So if I see someone with skin problems, it's got to be good skincare and good nutrition. The two side by side, they really, really help someone's skin out. They really do. And 80% of serotonin is in your stomach and your intestine. Now, serotonin, which is what makes you feel all good and lovely and happy. So if that's all damaged and you can't release serotonin, then guess what? You're going to feel depressed and you're going to feel rubbish. You're going to feel sluggish. You're going to have all those nasty side effects that you get when you're in toxicity. So it helps to support the intestinal wall that has been damaged by diet, antibiotics as well, medications, stress, and again, toxins. So they're really great, these little sachets, because they can help to improve your calcium absorption as well. And it helps to manufacture all the B vitamins, which is awesome. So next slide. Greens balance. I talked about this just a while ago when I was talking about my shake. I add this into my protein shake in the mornings because I can't get enough of all these fruits and veggies into my diet. So you see the picture around the bottom, that is only, I'd say, like 10% of the fruit and veggies that are in that product. It's amazing. So have a look on Arbonne's website and you'll see the amount of fruit and veggies, and that's it. That's all they put into their product. There's nothing else in there, just fruit and veggies that are in that product. It's amazing. It's all ground down. So you just put a couple of scoops in your protein shake. So your veggies, I did it yesterday when I did a roast. I put some on the potatoes, and it's great. You can use it when you're cooking as well with, you know, it acts as your whole food powder as well. So it's great. You can put it on salads and things as well. And it delivers all your antioxidants that you've got in there as well. So really good. Really good value for money. So yeah, you can put it in with your protein shake, or you can, if you're really brave, you can just have it on its own. But you're braver than I am. I can't take it on its own. So then we come to the antioxidant immunity booster. Now, this is what gives you your natural energy, and you've got really powerful antioxidants here that help to support your immune system. Now, this delicious drink, you take it every morning as a dietary supplement, so it's got all your antioxidants and your immunity booster in there. It's the equivalent of 1.5 oranges, 16 ounces of milk, not that we want to take milk, a cup of almonds, 10 eggs, which is your B12. You've got white rice, 3.5 cups. I mean, just look at that. It's insane, the amount that you get just in that little sachet. So you rip it off, squeeze it in your mouth, and you're done. You're done for the day. You can also put it in the fridge and have it as an ice pop. So 2 different ways that you can use it, and it still keeps all of its nutritional value as well. So have a look on the website if you want some more information on that one as well. So just coming on to the last product, Arbonne Evolution. So this was invented for people who were really struggling, who were really severely overweight, and they were not coping very well with the whole portion control. So full control was designed, and the main ingredient is something called glucosamine, which is a fibre derived from the konjac root, which is found in Japan, and it's capable of absorbing 100 times its weight in water. So what it does, when you take it, you take a little scoop in some water, you take it about half an hour to an hour before you eat, and what it does is it naturally, the fibre will expand in your tummy and the small intestine, so that you actually you actually in your head, you know that you're full and you're not going to eat as much when it comes to meal times. So this is not to restrict your eating. It's not used to stop you eating food. But if you are severely overweight and you're needing help with your portion control, you literally pile on your food this big, and you're still not full. This is great for you, and normally 1 tub is enough. Once you've used 1 tub, you'll probably not need to purchase another one because it will have helped you control your eating habits, okay? So it's also got magnesium, which contributes to normal energy metabolism. So it also helps with normal bones and teeth as well. So you've got your metabolism content in there. So the main ingredient is obviously glucosamine, but you also contain watermelon and kiwi, which are very sort of water-based as well, water-based fruits. Second product is metabolism support. So I call it the Rev It Up product, okay? So this is great because it contains green coffee bean extract. This is great to help support your metabolism, contains a natural blend of botanicals, but it's also gluten, vegan free, and it really does help to give you that natural caffeine boost. So if you're needing to speed up your metabolism a little bit, if you're a bit sluggish and you're not getting hungry, you're doing the 30-day detox and you're a few days in, you're still not getting hungry at meal times, this really revs you up. And again, 1 packet of these, one box of tablets, 1 little tube of tablets, it's all that you'd ever need. You would probably not need to go back online and buy them again because your metabolism would have caught up with itself and you'll be back to normal eating. So it contains something called green coffee bean. Now, if you didn't know, bottom right, coffee cherry fruit, that is how coffee grows. So coffee is grown at different strengths. So when it's red, it's at its highest strength. So when you go into Tesco's, wherever, and you see packets of coffee and it's grade 5 down to 1, it's really strong at number 5, it's a different grade of the fruit that it's picked at. And when it's at its mid-range, semi-ripe, that's when it has its highest levels of antioxidants, which is what we've got here in this product as well, okay? It also contains quercetin, which is a natural antioxidant as well, okay? So you've got lots of antioxidants, lots of goodness in there. So you're not taking a tablet that's going to make you feel all jittery and horrible. It's a natural tablet. There's nothing nasty within there. So you've got green coffee bean extract within that. Okay, the importance of exercise. Now, I teach a spinning class on a Monday. Obviously, coming from a personal training background, fitness is a huge part of my life. If I go on holiday and I don't exercise for a week, I feel it in my clothes. So I am the sort of girl that is always going to have to exercise. But I like that. I'm glad that I have the sort of body that I have to maintain exercise and I have to maintain a healthy diet, because otherwise I just feel sluggish and I feel crap. And the amazing thing about exercise is that you're still releasing endorphins the next day when you've trained hard. And sometimes I do a boot camp in the morning, which is only 30 minutes. I'll do boxing classes. You don't have to do exercise that takes a long time. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I've just had a baby, or I've got so many children, I can't get out, or I work really late, everybody can do exercise at some point in their life. So we all love squats. So even if you don't, you're going to pretend you do. So just getting up in the morning and doing 10 squats every single day is really going to help you. And just start by doing 10 in the morning. Get out your bed and do 10 squats, or while you're brushing your teeth, do 10 squats. Honestly, you'll see such a difference in the way that you feel just from doing a little bit of exercise. And even just starting with such a small number like 10 squats will seriously really help you. So I hope I've given you a bit of an insight into what we need to be doing within our diet and our lifestyle. And if you wanted to sign up to the 30-day plan, or even if you just wanted to buy one product, I will always send you a full weight loss plan that you can use, and it's super easy to follow. I, for instance, have eggs in the morning. I'll give you ideas on snacks. Obviously I'm always using the shakes, but then lunch times and dinner times, it's always meat and fish based, but it's not going to be rabbit food, which is why I put a picture of my little house rabbit here, even though we do eat a lot of the same food. You can go and eat like really good nutritious foods that are enjoyable. It doesn't have to be lettuce leaves all the time. So you can make your own dishes. I made these recently. So it was chicken. I made my own satay sauce, and I wrapped them up in lettuce leaves and had them like a little wrap. That's a really good one to have. So that's what they looked like. These are actually my pictures. So there's the ingredients, put those inside as well. And quite often, I'll just, before I get to the cake, sometimes I do this at night time. If I'm sat watching television, I'll have some hummus and I'll chop up carrots and I'll chop up some peppers and things like that, and I'll eat them up, with a little bit of hummus. That's a really good snack to have as well. Now, weekends, I love cake and I love going out for a wine. That's me and my partner going out for from cake and drinks. And it's good to do that. So I really hammer it to my clients, like, live the 80-20 rule in your life. Like, go out and have fun at the weekend, and then in the week just be really healthy and really clean, because that little time at the weekend is not going to make you feel so awful. It's only if you do those things every day, again and again. If you're drinking wine every day, you're eating crap food every day, you're eating gluten, dairy and soya, I tell you what, after I had that cake, I broke out in spots, because that's my trigger. So you're going to have to weigh it up. Sometimes you've got to have a few spots in your life and just get over it and then go back to healthy eating again. But I don't do it all the time. It's not every weekend. So that's me and Dr. Xavier going out for cake. We love our cake. That's our team. We do like to go out for cake, don't we, actually? This looks bad. I like to go out for a few drinks every now and again, so I'm not, claiming that I'm this big health freak. I do like to have a few drinkies at the weekends and things as well. But, as I said, I also eat healthy. Not my picture. One of Google Images. I love eating my omelettes and my healthy eating. But a great book and some advice for you guys, if you're trying to lose weight, then read a book called The Compound Effect. This is amazing, this book, and it's about doing something compounded every single day to create your results. I won't ruin the book by talking too much about it, but great tip is to read his book. It really is. So I just want to say thank you so much for listening to my talk this evening. And if there's anything that that spurs an interest in you, or you want to get your hands on any of the products, or you want to just have some samples for free, then please contact me. My name's Rebecca Green. You can search me on Facebook, or you can look up my website, which is rebeccagreen1.arbonne.com, or you can find my Green Room website, which is www.thegreenroomuk.co.uk. Please message me. I'm more than happy to give you some samples. If you're not sure and you're into training, or you want to lose weight, or you need some help with some nutrition, please get in contact with me, because I'm always really happy to help people and show them how these products are changing so many people's lives. They really are giving people such renowned confidence. So you can shop at full price with the products, or you can become a preferred client and you can save a bit of money and buy them online through my website, or you can become a consultant. And I'm looking for consultants all the time, just like me, that I can train up and I can work within my green team, and I can teach you the skills that I have learned, and you can run this as a sideline business for yourself as well. You also get a great discount on all the products, which is a bonus, and you earn a little bit of extra income on the side. So if that's something that is of interest to you, then please get in contact with me. I'd love to hear from you. And just thank you for listening so much. I will post this out on the page tonight, and I'll put it on YouTube, so for places to, people to have a little look. And I hope you've enjoyed listening. Thank you so much.